day everyone, I am Mary Jane Arguelles from Tlhe 2B and I am here to discuss the cognitive development theory proposed by Jean Piaget, Lev Vygotsky, Jerome Bruner, Howard Gardner, Robert J. Sternberg. Let's start with Jean Piaget. Theory of cognitive development suggests that children move through four different stages of mental development. This theory focuses not only on understanding how children acquire knowledge but also on understanding the nature of intelligence. Piaget's stages are the sensory motor stage, birth to 2 years old, pre-operational stage, ages to 2 to 7, concrete operational stages, age 7 to 11, formal operational stage, age 12 and up. Piaget believed that children take an active role in the learning processes, acting much like little scientists as they perform experiments, make observation, and learn about the world. As kids interact with the world around them, they continually add new knowledge, build up existing knowledge, and adapt previously held ideas to accommodate new informations. Up until this point in history, children were largely treated simply as a smaller version of adult. Piaget was one of the first to identify that the way that the children think is different from the way adults think. Instead, he proposed intelligence is something that grows and develops through a series of stages. Older children do not just thinks more quickly than younger children. He suggested instead they are both qualitative and quantitative differences between the thinking of young children versus older. And according to Vygotsky, cognitive development theory postulates that social interaction is fundamental to cognitive development. Vygotsky theory is comprised of concepts such as culture, specific tools, language, and thought interdependence, and the zone of proximal development. Furthermore, the theoretical concept presented herein provide parts of the foundations for constructivism and have contributed greatly to the restructuring of formal education system. Vygotsky, cognitive development theory, argues that cognitive abilities are socially guided and constructed. As such, culture serves as a mediator for the formation and development of specific abilities such as learning, memory, attention, and problem solving. It is a proposed that culture-specific tools plays an integral role in the way children organize and think about the world. Let's proceed to Bruner's theory of cognitive development. Bruner was concerned with the acquisition and use of knowledge representation relates to the means by which growing humans being represent their experience of the world and how they organize for future use what they have encountered. Bruner theories that children construct knowledge using three modes of what he called representation that corresponds to developmental stages. According to Bruner, as the children develop, they master each of these increasingly more complex modes. This involves becoming more skilled in translating between each mode. The first representation is inactive. This is the earliest stage represent from the infancy where a child world is presented through object in terms of their immediate sensation of them. For example, their muscular and motor responses of what they manipulate the environment. The second is iconic. Development at around 2 to 3 years old and involves the use of mental image that stand for certain objects. The third is the symbolic representation, developed around 7 years old, and it's the ability to transform action and image into a symbolic system to encode knowledge. Primarily, these symbols are language and mathematical notation. And according to Gardner, believe believe his multiple intelligence theory is a more accurate way of describing ability than narrow IQ theories, which suggested intelligence is relatively fixed, easily tested, and limited to areas such as verbal and reasoning skills. For Gardner, humans don't have just one intellectual capacity but a range of talents and abilities such as interpersonal, musical, spatial, visual, and linguistic intelligence. A person might have dominant intelligence such as musical intelligence but was also like to have a blend of additional abilities too. For teacher, one strong implication of Gardner's theory is that children are likely to have different preferred ways of learning. And the last theory is the theory of Sternberg proposed his theory in 1895 as an alternative to the idea of the general intelligence factor. The general intelligence factor, also known as G, is what intelligence tests typically measure. It refers only to academic intelligence. Sternberg argued that practical intelligence, a person's ability to react and adapt to the world around them, as well as creativity, are equally important when measuring an individual's overall intelligence. He also argued that intelligence is not fixed but rather comprises a set of abilities that can be developed. Sternberg's assertions lead to the creation of his theory.